Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers and we're here to cover the Star Mazda Australian Championship. It's round 10 tonight and we're coming to you live from Donington Park. I'd also like to welcome to the commentary box Trent Thomas. How you going, Trent?
Yeah, good things, Bernie. Good evening, viewers. Looking forward to tonight's race. It's a new track for the SMAC series. We've never raced here before, and I think most people who are watching who might be familiar with the Donington Park track probably normally race on the Grand Prix version of the track, but we're actually on the national version tonight, so it's a lot shorter than the Grand Prix version.
Yeah, I had a run around here today in the Star Mazda, and I think this configuration's really well suited to this car. It's an extremely quick track and very fast flowing in the Star Mazda.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll create some good racing tonight. As you said, it's quite flowing and quick, and I think this version of the track should suit these cars pretty well, so we should see some close racing tonight.
Yeah, so having a look at the splits, we have two splits tonight. So do you know how many drivers in total we had pre-qualify for tonight's event?
I believe we had 45 drivers were in the pre-qualifying servers, so we should have 23 cars in this split one race tonight.
Fantastic, and we're looking at a total race distance tonight, folks. I think it's about 32 laps, and in that, again, they'll be taking a mandatory pit stop, fuel mandatory and tyres optional.
Yeah, that's correct. 100 kilometre race over 32 laps. Fuel probably get them, I think it's about 25 laps, somewhere around there I think the window is, so we could see people pit as early as lap 1 really, because that's when the pit window actually opens for these guys, but I don't think you'll see anyone really running much past lap 20 or 25 on fuel.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. It always spices these races up when pit strategy comes into it. Having a look at our point score at the moment, folks, we're up to round 10, so Marcelo Rivera has jumped up into the lead with a total of 14.05 points after drop rounds, followed by Michael Schreier in second there with 13.63 after drop rounds. Third's Dean O'Brien, followed by David Jellings in fourth. Fifth, we're looking at Justin Strickland, so he's jumped up a position from sixth previously. Aaron Lee, though, he's dropped down from fourth last week to sixth, so he's sitting in sixth on 107.4, followed by Simon Eriksson in seventh. Eighth is Dylan Francis. Ninth is David Arnold, and 10th is James Keane, who's jumped up from 16th position. Another mention in there is Matthew Nethercote. He's come from 23rd previously up to 15th, so there's a few movers and shakers amongst the point scores there.
Yeah, when the points come out this week, it was surprising to see some of the movement that was going on. It was definitely a shame to see Aaron with that bad result he had last round. Unfortunately dropped 2 positions, but he's certainly in the hunt there. The points from 4th to 6th or 7th there are pretty close, so he's definitely not out of the hunt at all.
Yeah, unfortunately Aaron was leading, I think, at the time when he suffered the wrath of the Zolder curbs, I guess you could say. But anyway,
there's a curb explosion, you might call it.
Yeah, there was a few of those, but tonight it should be quite a good race, and we're just having a look at the qualifying at the moment. So Aaron Lee is in provisional pole with a 104.667, followed very closely by Marcelo Rivera. Aaron Osborne's in third. Justin Strickland's sitting in fourth at the moment, and rounding out our top 5 is Ian Ford.
A noticeable absence our regular viewers might notice tonight is Michael Schreier. He's actually has a back injury, I believe, at the moment, and he's going to have to sit out the next 2 races, so he hasn't used his drop rounds, and that's going to help repair the pressure takes off him a little bit, but so it's going to be interesting. Michael will be back for the last race of the season, So it's definitely going to be an interesting final race this season.
Yeah, it definitely is, and if you're watching, Michael, wish you a speedy recovery, and we look forward to seeing you back on the track in a few weeks. But at the moment, Aaron Lee's still got provisional pole. He's done 3 laps at the moment. Marcelo Rivera has done his 4, so he's pretty much finished. So has Aaron Osborne, Justin Strickland. I think they might have 1 lap each left. They're on 3 at the moment. Yeah, so qualifying is starting to come to an end. I'm just seeing if there's any cars out there.
Yeah, it's quite a short track, so the lap time is just over a minute long. They've got 10 minutes to complete their 4 laps, so yeah, they should get their laps over and done with fairly quickly, and yeah, we'll have a bit of a quiet moment before the race actually gets underway.
Yeah, and we can see here Anthony Manzarella sitting in 9th at the moment. This is his final qualifying lap now. Let's see if he can better his time. The last time was a 105.619. His fastest is a 105.076 as he comes through now. We'll just wait till he crosses the line. We'll see if he can improve on that 9th position. And it doesn't look like he has, so that's 9th at the moment for Anthony Manzarella. Justin Strickland's finished. I'm just seeing if there's anyone else out there. We've got Simone Galli sitting back here, 17th at the moment, and he must be the last driver out there. Him and David Jellings, I think, are the only ones left. So we'll see if Simone can improve on his 17th position. He's only put in a fastest lap of a 105.451, so there's quite a bit of speed left if he's got a good setup here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes it can take a couple of laps to sort of just get into the rhythm of where you're at. So some guys are quick, they can just jump in the car and off they go, and that's it, they set a fast time. Other guys take a few laps to sort of warm up, get everything up to temperature when they can feel they get the confidence in the car and can really push.
Yeah, so we've got Justin Strickland at the moment. He's just coming out. He's done 3 laps. So if he's done 3, when he goes around on this warm-up, that's going to be his last lap, isn't it? Or will he get another flying lap?
No, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this lap would be considered his 4th lap. The way that iRacing scores these laps. As soon as you start a lap, that basically counts it. So if he started his 4th lap, which he would have if he's completed 3, and then he exited back to the pits, it would consider that lap to have been commenced. So if you start from the pit lane, yeah, this is a continuation of that 4th lap, so I can't see him setting another time after this one.
Okay, so while Justin's going around the track, we'll have a look at our final results, not revolts. Aaron Lee has got pole position with a 104.667, followed by Marcelo Rivera. Aaron Osborne is in 3rd, Ian Ford 4th. Justin Strickland will start out at 5th tonight. Dylan Francis in 6th. 7th, Josh Anderson. 8th, Troy Burgess. 9th, Anthony Manzarella. And 10th is Michael McCabe. But look at the gaps here between 1st and 10th. There's only 0.4 of a second covering the top 10 positions there.
If you look from 6th to like 11th, that's only a 1/10 of a second. So there's certainly some very tight times. Even if you go back further in the grid, there's some very tight times between a lot of these cars.
Yeah, well, we're looking down to 20th at the moment, and you know, even down in 15th, they're only 0.6 of a second off, pretty much from pole position. So it's an extremely tight field tonight, which should bode well for a highly exciting race.
Yeah, because these cars, they do run a fixed setup, so everyone's running the same set, and it usually, when running fixed setups, it can promote this type of grid where everyone's on equal ground, and it can make grid times very, very close.
Yeah, so the guys are coming on the grid now, so let's go through the whole field. Aaron Lee will start out a pole, Marcelo Rivera second, third Osborne, fourth Ford. Strickland will start out of fifth. Sixth is Francis, seventh Anderson, eighth Burgess, ninth Mansarella, 10th is McCabe. David Jellings out of 11th, Ericsson 12th, Rayner out of 13th, Nethercote 14th, Tamlin 15th, 16th will be David Arnold, 17th Simone Galley, 18th David Pegler, 19th Paul Tajavara. And I was too slow, so we're underway, folks. Sorry about that. Aaron Lee's got a good start there, taking to the inside. He's got TD Racing Car in second at the moment. I'm just trying to work out who that is. That's Aaron Osborne. So I'm just restarting my overlay so that we can see the drivers in the correct order at the moment. So Aaron Lee takes the lead. He's getting a bit of a gap here, followed by Aaron Osborne. Marcelo Rivera sitting in third with Ian Ford in fourth, and fifth is Justin Strickland at the moment. So it's looking like a nice clean start here, as we can see the tail of the field going through, and it's going to be an extremely fast-paced race tonight. I think we'll be done in around about 32 minutes here, as Aaron Lee comes around already to complete the first lap, and it's looking good at the moment, with the top four getting a bit of a gap, but further back we've got a bit of a battle here.
Yeah, they're running extremely close at the moment. We're seeing what's usually been happening in the last few races, where we'll sort of have a lead group that sort of breaks away from the rest of the pack. So keep an eye on this top four, and we'll see where they go. Aaron Lee's under a bit of pressure there from Aaron Osborne, he just seems to be coming from strength to strength. Osborne, every race he just seems to be faster and faster, and eventually you'd have to imagine he's going to challenge and he's going to get that win.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, isn't it? He's just getting that confidence in that car, and he's definitely got the pace here, as he's sitting in second at the moment with Marcelo Rivera, so he's holding pretty high company there in the top four. But Josh Anderson has cleared Justin Strickland now, and he's starting to come on the back of them, and we saw that move on the first corner back there, and he's already caught up to them. Justin Strickland's got Dylan Francis behind him, and he's managed to hold that position at the moment. Troy Burgess down here in 8th with a bit of work to do. 9th is Michael McCabe defending from Anthony Mansarella in 10th. It looks like we may have had contact further back in the field between Scott Tamlin and Simon Galley. Both look like they may have retired from this. Oh no, they're still going, are they? No, they're not. Simon Galley's in the pits with a very bent Star Mazda, unfortunately.
It looks like Scott Tamlin has left the service, so he'll be our first retirement tonight.
Yeah, and I'd say Simon Galley won't be far behind by the looks of his car. But at the moment, Aaron Lee coming through to complete their second lap is in the lead again. And I'm sure, he's remembering from last week when he had a lead like this, and he ended up stacking it. So let's hope he has a better race tonight. But Marcelo Rivera's looking quite racy at the moment, as he's making a move on Aaron Osborne here.
Well, we certainly know what sort of calibre driver Rivera is. He's pretty much at the pointy end each and every week, and that's why he's at the top of the table at the moment in the points. So he might just be biding his time. He'll obviously be assessing the situation, find out where his car's stronger than Osborne in front of him, and he'll plan his move accordingly and try and get past him, so he can get to Aaron Lee, who's starting to make a little bit of a gap over Aaron Osborne now.
Yeah, he's having a look at that gap live at the moment. 9/10 of a second he's made that gap so far on Aaron Osborne, and I'd say Aaron's probably starting to look in his rearview mirror a little bit and losing a bit of pace because he's got Marcelo Rivera right on his tail at the moment.
Josh Anderson's just gotten past Ian Ford to take 4th place, so he'll be right on the back of Rivera very shortly as well. He's certainly got pace, Anderson, tonight, and one thing to keep in mind is while these guys battle, it only makes them slower, so the best thing they can do is just work together, try to make sure that they stick with Aaron out in front, because the draft is very important in these cars. If you could break that draft, you can tend to sort of start to make a little bit of a gap while the other guys are fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah, so I can confirm it looks like Simon Galley has retired from tonight's race, and we'll have a look at that replay shortly to see what happened to Simon and Scott. But at the moment, coming through to complete lap 4, we've got Aaron Lee in the lead. The gap at the moment, 0.8 of a second back to Aaron Osborne in 2nd, 3rd. Marcelo Rivera and Josh Anderson is right on their tail at the moment.
Ian Ford looks like he's getting sort of swamped at the moment by the cars behind him. It's like a 4-car pack running together, so he's, I don't think he's quite got the pace at the moment. These guys are starting to try and get by him.
Yeah, so Donington's an extremely fast flowing track in these cars. I guess where's some good passing opportunities for these drivers, because from what I'm seeing is a lot of this track seems to be pretty much one lane, I guess, or one racing line.
Having said that, these guys are running side by side almost for the entire lap. But pretty much any heavy braking area after a long straight is a pretty good overtaking opportunity for these cars. They'll get a draft, try and pull alongside and out-brake their opponent going into the heavy braking zones. The final chicane is probably one area. It gets a bit tight. You can't really fit 2 cars through there, so you have to rely on the other driver sort of to give you a little bit of room. But yeah, turn 1's probably another good opportunity for them as well.
And we're going 3 wide now. They're making a liar out of me here. Aaron Osborne on the outside, Marcelo on the inside. Aaron's trying to hold on to this position, but he just holds on as he cuts across the nose of Marcelo there. Great driving, but look at Josh Anderson now having a run on Marcelo.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys chooses to hit very soon. Probably Marcelo, if anyone. Just get out of this traffic and do some solo running. He's got the pace, he can run solo by himself. Otherwise, Aaron Lee's just going to run away from the field in front of them.
Yeah, well, that's right. The more they battle, the more Aaron's going to get out in front. But looking back here in 7th, Dylan Francis is doing a great job here, currently challenging Ian Ford for 6th. So he's having a good run tonight.
Yeah, he's actually qualified well tonight. Hasn't been one of his strong points previously. He's had good races. He works his way, He works his way up through the field during the race, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get that qualifying down. And he started up the front tonight, so he should be on for a pretty solid result.
Yeah, that's right. He's looking really good at the moment out there, and. But looking further up at the moment, Josh Anderson, he's now up into 2nd position as he takes Aaron Osborne, and Josh is definitely a mover and shaker tonight. We know he has the pace, and it'll be interesting now to see if he can shake Aaron and try to get that gap up to Aaron.
Yeah, he's definitely got pace. He's made all these positions. He started in 7th place and he's up to 3rd, so these are all done on track, which isn't really easy to do when you just look at how close the times are in qualifying. It's not really an easy job to get by these cars when it's so close, so yeah, he's doing a very good job. I'd also like to mention the Teams Championship, currently being led by the ERA team of Marcelo Rivera and James Keane. And Dylan Francis, who we mentioned earlier, with David Jellings for G&T Racing, they are currently 2nd, and Aaron Lee out front. I think it's David Arnold. I think they're paired together. 3rd in the team points. So they're the team pairings to keep an eye on during the last 3 races.
Yeah, well, Aaron's at the moment leading the way there, but David, he's all the way back in, how far back is he at the moment? He's all the way back in 14th at the moment.
He's made up a few spots from the start, so if he can keep improving, he might be able to get into the top 10 if he keeps working.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump back to this replay to see what happened to Scott Tamlin earlier on here, and Simon Galley, to see if they were involved in this incident on the first lap.
Yeah, I believe it was going into turn 1 on lap 2.
Oh yeah, that was nasty. And Scott came across the front there of Simon, and Scott managed to roll that car probably about 4 times. That was a very nasty incident.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he got the call from the spotter that he was clear, but he certainly moved over. It was an unfortunate accident that took out 2 drivers, so yeah, they ended their nights early.
It certainly did, no doubt. Race Control will be looking at that incident just to see if there was any blame to be had there. But at the moment, coming through to complete lap 9, Aaron Lee has the lead at the moment. And they're getting a bit of a gap here, but having a look further down, Justin Strickland in 5th, taking a wider line there. He's flashing a little bit. And, oh no, sorry, that was Aaron Osborne. Aaron Osborne's taking it a bit wide, flashing a bit, but now he's let through Marcelo there, so maybe Aaron's got a bit of a problem, or maybe it's a flashing that he's stepping aside.
Yeah, I think that might just be courtesy on his behalf if he knew he was flashing. Driving these cars, or any car, while you have a car flashing is very distracting and can be quite dangerous if a car disappears and reappears suddenly on top of you, so he might have just been doing the right thing there and just removing himself from the situation so he didn't cause a potential issue for himself and Marcelo Rivera.
Yeah, well, he's also made himself very vulnerable here to Justin, as Justin's having a look on the inside. Oh, under brakes, they don't want to go too wide through here, but that was a great move.
Definitely a very forceful move, and Aaron obviously gave him the room to complete the move, so like I said, you can't just shove it up there, you have to rely on the other car to actually give you a little bit of space to work with.
Yeah, well, the problem is now Aaron's sort of losing his momentum here, and he's coming under pressure from Ian Ford and Dylan Francis, so he's really got to try to get his momentum back again, otherwise he's going to find himself falling down the field rapidly.
Yeah, he's certainly fallen right off the pace. He's about 1 or 2 seconds slower than our leaders at the moment, so hopefully it's not a car issue and it is just to sort of just upset his rhythm a little bit, and he can get back into it and find his pace again.
Yeah, well, he's looking extremely vulnerable here from Ian Ford, and no doubt Ian saw Justin's move the lap before, and he might be trying to do a repeat here as he tucks in. He's coming the inside now to try to make the move, and he goes through, and so does Dylan, and it looks like David Jellings is also going through. Aaron Osborne's had enough, he's in the pits.
He might have been having an issue there, and it's obviously costing him a lot of time, so he's chosen to just get the pits. They do have that one quick repair each race, so if there is any damage, it'll get instantly fixed for him during his normal pit service. They won't need to take tyres on, but they do need to stop for the fuel, as mentioned earlier in the broadcast.
Yeah, so the car looked okay, but then again, the way he was getting mugged out there, he's definitely not happy with something. But hopefully he'll use his quick repair, recover from that damage, and if he can put in some fast times, which we know he can, the race isn't quite over for him yet.
Marcelo Rivera's lapping fairly slow through. I don't know whether those two come together, and they could have had a bit of suspension damage or something, which is hard to see on the cameras, but Rivera's is half a second to 0.3 of a second off the pace of the front runners. Josh Anderson, he's eaten into that lead of Aaron Lee. He's got that gap down to 1 second now.
Well, it looks like Aaron did have some sort of issue with his car, because it looks like he has actually called it quits tonight and retired by the looks of my telemetry here.
I'm just trying to find his name on the scoring now, so I can have a look.
Just having a look, he's back. No, he's still circulating, sorry. He went white, which normally tells me he's left the server, but he's sitting in 15th at the moment. His pit stop was 2.8 seconds.
That's unusual. That means he didn't take fuel on, so he might have gone in for the quick repair and not taken fuel, which you're not going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to get home on that.
No, not with 2.8 seconds. David Arnold's also had a pit stop. Leo Gray also has stopped. Now, it looks to me these guys have had some sort of incident, and it wasn't a scheduled stop. TJ Brown's another driver, and Ashley Thomas back there in 21st has also had an unscheduled stop at this point.
It'll be interesting to see, keep an eye on Aaron Osborne's lap times, and see whether or not he did have an issue of some sort, and see whether or not he can still match it with the leaders. Having said that, I think Joshua Anderson has fallen. He must be in the pits, yep.
Yeah, he's just done a 12.1 second stop. Ian Ford, 10.3 seconds. So that's more like the sort of... and Aaron Osborne goes through.
Josh looks like he was stuck on the pit lane limiter there, and he's lost a lot of time from that stop.
He certainly did. Marcelo had to dive past him there and avoid an incident, but as he did that, he had Aaron Osborne coming flying down the outside there, so I'm not sure if Josh was a bit balked by Aaron exiting the pits there, or if he missed his pit limiter.
Yeah, it was like he just didn't turn the limiter off for some reason, so that certainly cost him a lot of time, and he's now put him right down the order.
Yeah, and looking up front, folks, Aaron Lee at the moment, he's really got a huge gap here. 4.7 seconds over Marcelo Rivera. Looking back at Marcelo, he's coming under a little bit of pressure there from Justin Strickland, but he's still got 0.5 of a second gap. That's for second and third. Troy Burgess is sitting in fourth at the moment, followed by David Jellings in fifth. And they're sort of getting a bit spread out as we go further down the field.
Aaron Lee is definitely in absolute command of this race at the moment. His closest challenger, to be fair, was probably Josh Anderson, and unfortunately that pit stop, the hesitation coming out of that pit lane is really going to cost him. I don't think he can make up that time, so no one else seems to be lapping in the same times as Aaron Lee, so he's looking pretty good for him at the moment. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, but he's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, well, speaking of commentators' curse, Ian Ford and Aaron Osborne just came together. Coming into the final corners there, Ian went across the gravel trap. Hopefully they don't have damage, and that's the last thing Aaron would want after his previous stop.
That definitely wouldn't be any good for him. Very slow lap time that by around. It's allowed Josh Anderson to come up right behind him as well.
Yeah, this is really the battle of the race at the moment. It's between Dylan Francis, Aaron Osborne, Josh Anderson, Ian Ford dropping back a bit now, but they're battling it out for 10th position, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think these guys definitely have the pace for Dylan Francis, so he's not going to make it easy for them to get by. He doesn't have to. He's fighting for position here, so they'll have to work for it to get by, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, Josh just ran wide there. That's led Ian Ford back through. So two laps, both of them have come off the track, but they're still continuing this battle. Aaron's he's dropping back a little bit from Dylan here. So Dylan, if he can get a bit of a gap, well, these guys battle. It's going to really work to his advantage here.
Oh, definitely. Like, as soon as these cars get into battles with each other, they lose so much time. and it'll allow a single car to just drive away, as we saw earlier with Aaron Lee and the guys fighting behind him, allowed him to make a gap.
Yeah, and Dylan's got, 0.2 of a second gap at the moment. Aaron's following him, and they're gapping Ian and Josh at the moment, as those two are caught up in their own battle. But saying that, Aaron's starting to challenge Dylan again. Having a look further down, Aaron Lee, our race leader's in the pits. We've also got Marcelo Rivera in the pits. Justin Strickland's in, so keep an eye on this. Aaron's done 11.7 seconds at the moment as he comes out, and they've got to watch the exit here because it's quite it can be quite treacherous, can't it?
Yeah, it pretty much puts you straight out onto the racing line. It's not a very fun pit exit. You certainly need to have your wits about you.
Yeah, so having a look at their pit stops, Aaron Lee did a 11.7, Justin Strickland 11.4, Marcelo Rivera 12.5. So the big question though is Aaron Osborne 2.8 seconds, and as we said, he's not going to be able to get home from there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this race develops for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's got the pace, but I don't think he's got the fuel to get home. Unless he knows something that we don't know, but yeah, as you said like 10 to 12 seconds per pit stop, and he's only stopped at 2, so yeah, he definitely does not have enough fuel on board that car to get to the checkered flag.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is he went into damage control there after losing all those positions. He was trying to come back out in a competitive position, which he's done, but that's only going to last as far as that fuel load's going to carry him. As we can see now, Ian Ford looking on the outside here. He's going to go the long way around Aaron if he can.
Yeah, the speed seems to be going to and fro at the moment. One car seems to sort of make a bit of a break, and then they all catch up, and then a new car gets to the front of that pack, and then they make a gap, and yeah, they keep catching up. So it's entertaining battle pack at the moment.
Certainly is, and Dylan was leading this battle pack. He finds himself at the back of this battle pack now. I think all three of these drivers have found themselves at the back of that pack at some point in the last 3 laps, so we'll keep an eye on this, folks. It's definitely developing into a good race back here.
There's a bit of a good thing about this car. If you're in a pack, it's so quick. You can go from the front of the pack to the back, and then back to the front again. Just on the nature of the cars, especially on the long, flowy tracks like this one, and on ovals. Not that we race on ovals this season, but on oval tracks, these cars, it's so quick to just go from the front to the back and back to the front again in the space of a lap or 2.
Yeah, as we can see now, Dylan and Ian Ford side by side through. Oh, they nearly make contact there, and Ian makes that move, but Dylan's got to run now.
Yeah, it's good to see these guys having a battle. I'm sure they're having an absolute ball out there. They don't care, or they probably do care where they finish, but I know some guys, they just love the thrill of the chase almost. You might win, you might finish last, but as long as you have fun and you've got someone to battle with, it's usually what a lot of the drivers really look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. In this class, a fixed class, definitely makes battling high likelihood, doesn't it? Especially on all the races we've watched. And a lot of the guys here are having a great time. David Arnold back in 13th, under pressure now from David Pegler. So those guys are at it, as well as further up. Michael McCabe's in a battle here with Mark Rayner and Anthony Manzarella. Looking right back in the field here, we're quite deep in the field, but Simon Eriksson and Leo Gray, these guys are battling, and they're fighting it out for 17th position at the moment.
And as I said earlier, like, these guys don't particularly, they might be in 17th and 18th place, but they're going to be fighting and having fun as if it was for the lead. And that's the beauty of this class of racing, like you said, with the fixed sets. Everyone's on the same level playing field. It's just up to the driver to see who's the best with the same equipment.
Yeah, that's right, and it's fantastic here. Right at the back of the field here, Andy O'Brien, TJ Brown there having a great battle as well. As we can see Andy getting a good run there and making a move as they come side by side down the back straight here. And we'll see if Andy's taken that position back. So that was oh no, he's run wide, sorry. So we better stop watching that battle in case we curse them too much.
One thing you would have noticed is that Ash was right on the inside line and Andy was right on the outside line. That can make it quite hard. It's almost a bit of a trick for some drivers. You sort of hit in their blind spot and you put the other driver in doubt as to where you actually are, and it sort of forces you into a better position by you sort of have to rely on that driver sort of not knowing where you are and not just turning in on you. And I think we found a lot in this series that there is a lot of courteous driving. You won't find a lot of super aggressiveness. The drivers do leave each other room, and sometimes drivers can use that to their advantage. If you sort of sit in the driver's blind spot, the other guy knows you're there but not sure exactly where you might be, and it makes them a little bit hesitant, so that you can get a bit of an advantage going into a corner.
You definitely can, and a lot of these guys would probably be running single monitors, which means their field of view is a lot narrower than it would be in real life. And as you said, if you're sitting there in the blind spot, they can't even see you, and they're sort of guessing where you are, which puts them off.
It takes a lot of experience to sort of understand where a car might be. You do have your spotter that will tell you if a car is actually beside you or not. It's not 100% accurate, but it usually gives you a pretty good idea, as well as we have what the drivers call the F3 screen, which shows you your relative time in comparison to the cars around you.
Yeah, that's right, and a lot of the experienced drivers rely on that F3 screen, especially when they're exiting pits or if they have a bit of an off and they want to know when it's safe to enter the track. At the moment,
Sorry, speaking of which, Ian Ford's just had a bit of a spin in the last chicane and he's now coming into the pit lane.
Okay, we'll have a look at that and see what happened here. That's unfortunate. He was having a great run, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was up there battling in the top 10. So I think he was running with Dylan Francis and Joshua Anderson. They're 6th and 7th, so he's well inside the top 10.
And we're just having a look. He's run a bit wide here. He's got a bit of a gap, so I think he's going to do this to himself. Yeah, he's hit the ripple strip, which has totally unsettled that car, and it's thrown him heavily into the fence there, so he suffered nose damage. I guess, though, if you're going to have an incident, having it right before the pits is probably the best spot to do it.
Yeah, he's come in. He obviously hadn't used his quick repair, so he's come into the pits and used that quick repair and gone straight back out on track.
Yeah, so having a look at our top 5 at the moment, folks, we've got Aaron Lee, 7.2 second gap with 7 laps to go of this race. He's pretty much dominated tonight. Justin Strickland in second, but he's coming under quite a bit of pressure here from Marcelo Rivera as Marcelo closes in under brakes, coming through the chicane to finish their 25th lap now. Sitting in 4th is Troy Burgess at the moment, and he's got quite a good gap of 3 seconds back to Aaron Osborne. And again, Aaron's got a fairly big gap back to Dylan, but we do know there's a question mark over this driver, and that is if he can get home. 2.8 second stop with 6 laps to go. It's going to be a touch and go for this car.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like our Joshua Anderson, his run has come to an end. He's gone off track and damaged his car.
That's a shame. He was having a great race, and he was looking very competitive there. We'll just have a look at this replay and just to see what did happen to Josh here.
Actually, there's contacts.
Yeah, he's making a move on Aaron Osborne here. Oh yeah, Aaron was on the inside. He's locked up, but he's hit Josh big time. It turned him on his roof. He skidded all the way across the ripple strip, heavily into the tyres. And yeah, race control, that's another one for him to look at, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for them to assess. Sometimes I'm glad I'm up here in the box with you, Bernie, and not down there trying to figure out these incidences and if anyone is to blame or not.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather be up here just calling the race and leaving the hard decisions to our race control, and it's great to have them on board to do that. But at the moment, 27 laps down, Justin Strickland, Marcelo Rivera here having a battle. The question is, Dylan Francis, he's in a pretty good position here to get a top 5 if Aaron can't get that car to the finish line.
Yeah, definitely. And actually Dylan Francis and David Jellings have done a habit of this the last few races, actually, of finishing nose to tail with each other inside the top 10. That's why they are running second at the moment in the team championship. And I don't think James Keane is in this field tonight, so that's going to be good for points for that team to try and make up some ground on those leaders.
Well, definitely. It's if you can get 2 cars here to run consistently in the top 10, you're looking good for the team championship, which Dylan Francis and David Jellings are at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on them. We've got another 2 rounds to go after this one, and we'll see how that team championship shapes up.
We've got David Arnold as well, who's Aaron Lee's teammate. He's currently just outside the top 10, so he's in a group of 4 cars, so he can still make up some positions here and could try and get himself in the top 10. And obviously they're in 3rd place, so that'll score them some good points as well.
Yeah, that's right, and his teammate Aaron Lee's leading the way, but David's no slouch behind the wheel, and he's been working his way up steadily through the field here. 3 laps to go. He's got Michael McCabe and Anthony Manzarella ahead of him, and followed, and in front of them is Mark Rayner. So we'll keep an eye on that driver as the race progresses.
All those drivers are quick, so it's certainly not going to be an easy task for him to get by them. We've got Matthew Nethercote behind as well. I don't think he's making any ground on these guys at the moment because they're not really fighting. They're just sort of staying in line and not slowing each other up at the moment. But I'm sure as we get down to the final laps, we might see some jostling for position.
Yeah, that's right, and they want to make, if they possibly can, make a clean pass here, because we've seen quite a few guys come unstuck when they've tried to make a move here at Donington, and it's definitely made it a bit challenging for a few of the guys out there tonight.
Yeah, it certainly has. I'm starting to question Aaron Osborne. I don't want to question your overlays there, Bernie, but 2 seconds, he should have had to have pitted by now. He would have run out of fuel, so I don't know whether your overlays are giving you a bit of porky pies or not, but he should have run out of fuel by now.
Yeah, it could be the overlays giving us a porky pie, but generally they're pretty accurate. So we'll see. He doesn't seem to be worried at any time with fuel saving or anything, does he?
No, definitely not. And as I said, there's only enough fuel in these cars to get him about 25 laps. So I think it was about 20 laps. So it's he would have well and truly run out of fuel by now.
Yeah, he's definitely coasting through the corners though. So yeah, we'll have to ask him. It's probably my mistake up here with our overlays, but it makes for a good story, doesn't it?
Oh, it always does. It gives us something to talk about at least.
Yeah, so we're on to the last lap now. Aaron Lee, our race leader here, 8.2 seconds. At this point, don't want to put the mockers on him, but it's really his race to lose, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. He's dominated this field tonight. He's led from start to finish, basically, and no one's really been in a position to challenge him except for Josh Anderson. Unfortunately, he had his issues tonight. But yeah, Aaron, he's just outclassed this field tonight.
Yeah, he certainly has, as we're following our race leader now. As we can see Aaron Lee coming through the final turn here. I thought he was going to go in the pits. To take out round 10 of the Star Mazda Australian Championship here at Donington Park goes to Aaron Lee. Further back, Marcelo Rivera comes home in second, followed closely by Justin Strickland, and Troy Burgess comes home fourth. Fifth, Aaron Osborne. Great drive there. Dylan Francis comes home in sixth position, followed by his teammate David Jellings in seventh position. Then we've got Mark Rayner coming under pressure here, Anthony Mansarella, but he holds that position, and David Arnold gets into the top 10 by coming home in 10th position, followed by Michael McCabe in 11th. 12th is Matt Nethercote. And then 13th, Paul Tajavara, followed by Simon Eriksson in 14th, Leo Gray 15th, 16th was Andy O'Brien, 17th Ashley Thomas, 18th TJ Brown, and the last finisher of this race was David Pegler in 19th. The retirements tonight, folks: Ian Ford's retired from tonight's race, Josh Anderson, Scott Tamlin and Simon Galley, and they were all due to contact during the race.
It certainly wasn't as high attrition tonight as we saw in the previous race. Twice as many cars in the field, mind you, but it's always unfortunate to see cars not finish, but that's unfortunately how racing goes sometimes.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think we should bring up our race control, Scott Connors, and just get his take on a few of these incidents. Hi Scott, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. It looks like you might have been a little bit busy out there tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't actually too bad tonight. There was a few little incidents, but I think we only have to look at about one or two. It's a bit surprising. It seems like some of the guys have cleaned up their acts as it's heading to the more serious time of the season.
Yeah, we saw there was a bit of contact there between a few of the drivers. Which ones are you investigating at the moment? Can you tell us or not?
I really cannot remember at the top of my head, unfortunately. Trying to process back on it.
That's alright.
I really don't know, yeah.
I think we had Gelly and Tamlin on the first or second lap. I think that was one contact we saw.
Yes. That has already been resolved. That's a 10th place for Scott Tamlin's next race. Already done that.
And there was a contact between Aaron Osborne and Joshua Anderson fairly late in the race also.
Yes, that's the one that will be post-race, yes.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Trent, you're on the ball.
I'm glad Trent's on the ball tonight.
Someone's got to be watching.
Yeah,
glad Trent's on the ball.
So it was quite an exciting race tonight, wasn't it, out there? And from what we could see anyway, there was battles right through the field tonight, which was fantastic to see.
Yeah, it was really close, tight field, and there's battles scattered throughout the whole field, which is always good to see. Obviously, would have been excitement for the commentary box, and I'm sure you're happy, Mr. Bernie, with the result out of the race.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely happy with the result out of tonight's race, and we'll bring our race winner up very shortly for an interview. Yeah, so the only question mark I had over our pit stops was Aaron Osborne. I had him down as a 2.8 second stop, which obviously that was wrong because he didn't run out of petrol. But that kept us excited for most of the race tonight.
Yeah, it's you go.
I was going to say, I did actually go back and have a look at his pit stop, and yeah, it was definitely longer than 2 seconds, so yeah, something funny going on there with your overlays telling lies.
Fair enough. Anyway, Scott, thanks for popping in. We're going to bring some drivers up now for an interview, and as always, great job out there for admin.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you all you guys for doing the wonderful broadcast week in and week out. And quick shout to Marcelo. It's his 21st birthday today, so big happy birthday to him.
Yeah, well, what a way to celebrate your 21st, coming home second tonight in the Star Mazda Australian Championship. So that's excellent, but it also shows his commitment, because I know if it was my birthday, I'd probably be at the pub by now.
I think after last season's heartfelt, I think he might be after some redemption. Yeah, it'd be interesting with Schreier out for these next 2 rounds. We'll be back at Phillip Island, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes at the end of Phillip Island in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Anyway, Scott, thanks for popping in, and we'll get on with the driver interviews, mate.
Thank you.
So I'd like to welcome to the commentary box, and congratulations to Aaron Lee for Redback Racing. Fantastic drive there tonight, Aaron. It looked like you pretty much led the race from start to finish. How did it feel from your point of view?
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a good race. Josh was catching me at one point when I was behind me, and unfortunate for him, he looped it around. But look, it was a great race. Just the strategy worked out: get out in front and just try and pull away the best we can and maintain that gap. And in a fixed series, it's very hard to get a gap. And tonight was just that monkey off my back that I've been trying to get off my back all season.
Yeah, I was wondering after last round where you're leading that race and had an incident, was any of that weighing on your mind tonight, or were you just pretty much focused on getting that gap and getting a good result tonight?
No, last week we knew what happened. At the end of qualifying, the graphics started glitching a little bit. Didn't really take too much notice of it, but then it started getting worse as the race started in the first couple of laps, and we worked out what it was on Monday night, and it was just an app that I was running in the background that was giving me live timing, and for some reason after a Windows update it started playing up, so I'm not sure. I'll investigate a little bit further, but obviously tonight I didn't run it and it ran as smooth as butter.
Well, that's good news to hear that, and this is the first time we've run the Star Mazda for this championship at Donington. What are your thoughts on the track and how the Star Mazda performs around here?
Star Mazda's fantastic. It's one of my favourite cars next to the HPD. Around Donington, look, there's some great corners for it. There's being a fixed setup, you've really got to adapt very quickly to the setup, and that's part of the challenge. But there are some corners, a few bumps coming through that last chicane there. That's very interesting. If you get them wrong, you end up off track. But other than that, it's a great track. It flows really well. And some of those high speed corners where you just back down one gear and just ease that throttle on, it's just a nice feeling.
Yeah, fantastic. And another nice feeling is we noticed your teammate David Arnold worked his way up to 10th position tonight. So that's got to bode well for your bid for the team championship at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. The Drivers' Championship's pretty much gone for me. I had a few bad rounds, through the season, especially last weekend. But we're looking good for the team championship, I think. After we were readjusted, we're up into 3rd place, I think I read. So after tonight, we'll see where we end up. And it's fantastic for us. David done a great job. He's been away for the last couple of weeks, I think, or last week, so he hasn't had much testing. So he come in tonight fresh, and great job.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll hand you over to Trent Thomas here. Trent, do you have any questions for Aaron tonight?
I just wanted to congratulations on the win. And was that your first win in this series?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a big monkey. All season we've been very competitive, but just never been able to either finish well, or just silly things like just coming into pits too hot, speeding and getting done, having to do an extra stop, running out of fuel, or last week glitching. So it's one of those things. I've had a few thirds, but never had a win. So no, it's definitely good to get the monkey off the back.
Yeah, you've definitely been up there a week in, week out, certainly threatening for the win. And tonight you're pretty much in a class of your own. I think the only real challenge you had was from Josh Anderson at one point in that race, but he had his own incidences for him, unfortunately, and that's pretty much just sort of left you off to your own device. You could worry about your own race, and the guys behind you fighting obviously helped you a little bit as well. So, yeah, definitely congratulations on finally getting that win that you quite deservedly won.
No, thank you very much. Look, it's a long time coming, and it's good to get a win in this SMAC series. I know we've got a few drivers running from Redback Racing in the series, and to be up the front is fantastic. I'm just hoping that we can get the rest of the guys up there and move them forward for next season.
Thank you, and I'll pass you back to Bernie, and I'll get you to thank any sponsors and whatnot that you might have before you go.
Yeah, thanks guys. Look, like I think Redback Racing, they've been a great team to be a part of, and RRTV as our main sponsor. You guys do a fantastic job up there in the broadcasts, and look, we're seeing 1,000+ views on some of these videos, so I'm really keen to be a part of it, and thanks very much guys.
Yeah, fantastic, Aaron, and you'll be happy to know RRTV hit their 400 subscriber tonight, so a big thanks to all our viewers out there for supporting us and for making this broadcast possible. But anyway, thanks Aaron, and congratulations, and time to go and enjoy your champagne, mate.
So mate, I'm about to hop into a Formula 1 car. I'll see you soon.
Alright, see you mate. So Trent, we have Justin Strickland down there for an interview. Justin had a great drive tonight and finished in third, so we'll bring him up. Do you want to have a quick chat with him?
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Okay, Justin, welcome to the RRTV commentary box. I believe you came home in third place tonight, which is a good result for yourself. You're having a pretty good battle there with Marcelo Rivera towards pretty much the entire race. Just talk us through your race and how you found it tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good race. I certainly battled with Marcelo for all of it. At the start, I got a reasonable start and sort of didn't move up any positions. And then I think Josh passed me. He was pretty fast. I don't think I could have kept up with him, and just settled into a bit of a rhythm until Josh crashed. I'm not sure what happened there. Once he crashed, then there's a reasonable gap to Marcelo, but I thought, Marcelo, I'm not going to catch him. But I started to reel him in, so that's pretty good. Coming out to the pits and followed Marcelo in, and was surprised to come out in front. And then after that, I thought, he must have taken tyres, and thought he'll get me pretty fast, but held him up for as long as I could. But yeah, just a bit of a brain fade into the chicane, braked a bit too late, and let him through.
It's just unfortunate. Just on relation to that, Josh Anderson, on our cameras, it actually looked like you'd run to the side of him, so there might have been a bit of net code there in that instance, but it seemed there was a little bit of contact and he went flying. So these cars don't normally contact and send cars flying. They can usually bump off each other a little bit, so yeah, unfortunately there might have been a bit of net code there for that incident. Yeah,
right, I was a fair way back from Josh when he crashed, so I just come around out of the chicane and seen him in the wall, so...
Actually, I think it might have been Aaron Osborne actually who ran into him, so yeah, my bad on that one.
Yeah, it was definitely Aaron Osborne there. Yeah, so anyway, back to the interview, Trent.
Yeah, sorry about that. This is the first time on this track for this car in this series. How did you find the track flowing, and with the amount of traffic? Was there any aero push in some of the faster, higher speed corners?
Yeah, I love the track. I seem to really like the fast flowing sort of tracks. I'm good at Brands Hatch too, so it seems to be similar characteristics to this one. In the air, with the aero push being behind the car, there was a bit of it there, which made me surprised to catch Marcelo, but it wasn't too bad.
Have you driven on the national layout of the circuit before? I think most people are probably used to the Grand Prix circuit with that extended left-hand chicane rather than the right-hand chicane going down to the hairpin. Have you driven the national layout before?
Yeah, I've done the national layout before. In a league I used to race with, we sort of did an event where we did both layouts, and I have to say I prefer this one. The 2 hairpins on the other layout would be torture in this car.
I think this car sometimes it certainly suits sort of high flowing sort of tracks without the sort of the hairpins and whatnot. So it seems to reward the drivers on a racing sense, just having those fast flowing corners and the slightly shorter tracks as well, rather than
definitely
twisty stuff. I hand you over to Bernie. Have you have any questions for Justin there, Bernie?
No, I don't have too many for Justin, but it was a great drive out there, and it looked like you're having a ball with all the battling out there. I guess the main question is, do you want to give a shout out to anyone tonight?
Yeah, I'll congratulate Aaron and Marcelo again. They were too quick for me tonight, especially Aaron. He's done a great job. I think he missed out on the win last time after making a mistake, so good to see him get one. Thanks to all the guys that helped to run the Smack series, and RRTV for doing the broadcast. I go and watch the broadcast tomorrow, I will, so I'll be interested to hear myself on there. And also thanks to my team, Team X-Ray.
Fantastic. Well, once again, congratulations on your 3rd position there, Justin. It was a great drive tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on the track next week.
Cheers, thanks a lot, guys.
Well, Trent, that pretty much wraps up our interviews tonight. Before we go, though, it's getting harder every week. You know, when we say drive of the day or whatever, trying to pick someone, it's just, with a field this good, it's just very difficult to pick someone, isn't it?
It always is. For me, I think I'm going to have to give it to Aaron, just because he controlled that race the entire time. It was unfortunate what happened to Josh Anderson. I think he was in contention for drive of the race, starting a bit further back on the grid and actually driving his way to the front. But unfortunately, he had an incident late in the race which took him out. So yeah, I'm going to go with Aaron Lee for drive of the race this round.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to his teammate David Arnold as well, who started I think 16th, worked his way up to 10th, and that was a good consistent drive. But saying that, quite a few guys have come up through the field tonight. So yeah, I'll agree with you. We'll give it to Aaron Lee for drive of the night. As far as fastest lap goes, that goes to Marcelo Rivera with a 104.370, and that's a good result for that ERA driver there.
Also means an extra bonus point for him as well to go towards the championship. He didn't actually lead a lap tonight, because the drivers actually get a bonus point for leading a lap, so that extra bonus point could mean something come the final round at Phillip Island.
Well, definitely will, especially if we've got Michael Schreier out until that round. Marcelo's going to be trying to get as many points as he can, so I'm sure he'll be looking at that bonus point tonight and be happy with that, as well as his second result, of course. It was a really strong race, and really between Marcelo and Justin, they were having a really good battle for that whole race tonight.
Yeah, they were, and I actually missed the pass that Marcelo made on Justin towards the end. I thought Justin would come home in second place, but I was surprised to see that Marcelo did get by him. He made that move on the second last lap, I think, after Justin said he made a mistake and ran a bit wide, so it's unfortunate for that, but yeah, all good points for all drivers.
It certainly is, and folks, looking at our week ahead, if you like your open wheeler racing, you definitely need to join us this Sunday afternoon, and just record the V8 Supercars if you're in Australia. Watch that later, but come and join us Sunday afternoon. We start at 12:45 with the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship, and that championship is very exciting, followed by the Open Star Mazda Australian Championship. The difference between that championship and this one's a fixed series where the other one's open setup, so that's going to be exciting. We've also got 4:30 Sunday afternoon the F1 Australian GP series is back for their third and final round for this year. But speaking of those guys, I've overlooked it again, Trent. 4:30 this Saturday afternoon. Come and join us live. We'll be broadcasting the qualifying of the F1 GPs, and that'll go from 4:30 to 5:30 Saturday afternoon. And if that's not enough for you folks, Sunday night we have the SEK Queensland GT Series, and I think that's going to be a sprint round, so that's going to be exciting as well. But anyway folks, if you like the video, definitely support us by pressing the like button. If there's something you didn't like about it, just leave us a comment and we'll try to improve it. But thanks to everyone out there for watching us tonight, and thank you to all our subscribers. We hit 400 tonight, and that's fantastic. So on behalf of Trent Thomas, I'm Bernie Weemers, and thanks for watching RRTV.